Well, I say that we go ahead and get started. What do you guys think?
Don't say no cuss words.
Nothing. No, don't say none of that. Nothing like that.
John.
Right?
My mouth is closed.
That's not what he said.
Eddie Van Halen here, telling you, keep playing, man. Gotta keep playing. It's the only thing there is. Music, man. Keep playing. All right? I'm gonna come looking for you if you don't.
What is up? What is up, boys? What's up?
Happy Tuesday.
We got Jimmy Biter, we got Trev, we got myself, we got Randy, we got John DeShane, and we got R2R3 in the chat, who just didn't want to come on screen, I guess. So, welcome in, everybody. We are here for the Guitarsenal. It is Tuesday, December 3rd, 9:07 p.m. in the Eastern, and we are ready to go. We got cool guitar we're going to be talking about tonight. We got Jimmy Biter's Ibanez. What is that thing? An RG750 from 1987? Is that what you said?
That is correct.
Cool,
The
man.
guitar's the same age as I am.
Ooh. Guitar's way younger than I am. So
I was 18.
So yeah, I guess before we get into it, going to come over here and say thank you to our channel members. We do have channel membership available if you should choose to help support us in that manner. We do appreciate it. That comes in really, really handy for running the show, keeping the lights on, and all that good stuff. So thank you for the channel members that have contributed, the old and new, and everybody that has supported in the chat with super chats and so forth. We thank all of you, but special thanks to our channel members. Also, let's get over here and let's see who we got with us tonight. We'll go ahead and we'll unzip the chat bag here, and we'll see who all is here. And I see first in, there he is popping out. It is Dan Gorman. What is up, Dan? Good to see you, man. We'll have to have Jimmy play that tonight because none of us have our guitars on. We got channel member Cushman NYC is here. Good to see you, sir. Welcome in. Channel member Hillary is hanging out with us, saying happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday right back to you. Channel member Blue Mox is here, saying hey to everybody. And didn't you say that Blue had a new purchase, Randy? Did you hear something?
That's what he told me. For a steal of a deal.
Yep. I was sent a link to Adorama, and I have never purchased from Adorama before. But apparently they have a huge sale going on the EVH Relic series guitars. You can get a white one, a red one, or a black one for a tremendous discount. So We are not personally going to put up the link, but if you do some research, you might find that you can find a really, really good deal on one of those. So check it out. Check it out.
Price seemed ridiculous. That seems less than dealer cost.
Right. Makes you wonder, does it have some scratches on it? I mean, those things come relict. So, I mean,
Well, it was all colors, wasn't it?
Yep.
What I saw was the red one, the black one, or the white one. You can choose. Yeah.
Right. That's the older ones. So
Yeah. So they've got the newer blue one, and they got like a sunburst one, and then a silver something or another. I think.
yeah, like the worst silver burst ever.
I don't know. That Wolfgang body with the silver burst was pretty rough looking, in my opinion. But yeah, check it out. See what you can find if you're looking for that type of guitar. Let's see. We just said hey to Blue Mox. We said hey to Hillary. Let's see who else. Channel member Jimmy Biter is in the chat saying what's up, and here on the panel. Good to see you, Jimmy. Right on. Let's see. Dan Gorman, we said hey to. New channel member Edward R. Newton Jr. is here saying hey to Dan Cushman and the chat there. So welcome in.
Cheers, Ed.
Mr. Ed. Good to see you. Let's see who else we got. Scrolling down. Might have a light crowd tonight. There's our 2R3 saying top Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy's the king. That's right. Let's see. Symmetry hanging out.
R2's
in the chat.
not.
We got Papa Blue is here. Good to see you, Papa. Channel members J. Paul is here. Good to see you. Let's see. Scrolling on down. Who else we got? Kurt 5150 is here. Said I heard Boner Jams is featuring a 7-string Jim Root Jazzmaster tonight. Where is he featuring that at?
Guitar Talk Universe.
I think he's probably on his OnlyFans.
Boner Talk Universe.
There we go. Let's see. Who else we got? Welcome in, Kurt. Good to see you, man. Scrolling on down. We got channel member CMBR. Good to see you. Who else? Channel member Pete Estevez is here. Good to see you. Let's see. There's KXM Rock. Right on. Good to see you hanging out. Channel member Steve Resor is here saying hey to everybody. Good to see you. Who else?
Heard that, Jimmy.
Kurt says, good to see Randy Price back in front of the screen. You're even looking better, Randy. Says who?
Right. It's because I'm wearing a UTV hat. Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern.
J. Paul says, Adorama is super customer service oriented. No funny biz. There we go. So there's
I saw J. Paul said earlier he used to own a ESP M2 Deluxe that he sold. I had one as well and still regret selling that guitar.
Do we have a little
Yeah.
there we go.
You know what I don't regret selling? A fucking Ernie Ball EVH.
For sale.
Or a JP16.
Right? So it's not Ernie Ball Music Man for life. It's just for a couple weeks until you get tired of it.
No.
I had that guitar for a year. Had the JP16, 7 months?
Something like that. Mitch Heyman is here saying hey to the crew. Right on. Good to see you, Mitch. We got Gary, Getter 1952, channel member is here, sliding in through the back door. Right on. You can come in through the back door, through the windows, through the front door, or through Randy's side door.
Down the chimney for all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Al's G is here saying hey, good to see you, man. Kurt says his Frankie came in on Monday, going to start tearing into it this weekend. Right on.
Nice.
And I have thrown out an invitation to Kurt 5150 for when he gets that thing ready to come on for a Tuesday night Guitarsenal. And
Don't be intimidated, Kurt.
So we'll look forward to that. Let's see who else.
Also, if you're thinking about coming in my side door, I just want to let you know guitars aren't the only thing I collect that start with the letter G. All right, I'm done.
Gimp suits?
We got Wayne McConnell is here saying hey to the peeps. Went to a local guitar store and played a bunch just for fun. Yeah, man.
Nice.
Always fun to do that. Once Randy gets to feeling better, maybe we'll go out and Randy and I will do a round of the music stores and just do that. Because I ain't buying nothing.
Well, the problem is come January, I'm gonna have about three grand in my pocket to blow. So yeah, Next time we go, I'll end up buying something.
There we go. Right on. Well, we're going to hold you to that. Let's see.
Jason should be doing a run of those Evil Joes then, too.
There you go. We said hey to Steve. We said hey to Ed. We said hey to Gary. Let's see. Who else do we got? Scrolling down here. There he is. Dr. Fabric himself and channel member Charles 75N is here saying hey now. Right on. And Charles, I don't know if you saw my comment, but I finally got to watch your chatting with Charles with Uneffin' Believable. And a really good show. Appreciate the kind comments that you had for our channel. And just want to put it out there that, you know, you guys touched on it. Nobody really should feel, intimidated trying to come on and play on here. We're just all for the fun. And we had a few things that we had been trying to do. On Sundays, we'd ask that pick a track that you like and play to it and send it in to us. And if anybody wants to send us a track where they would like to jump on and play on a Sunday, we are wide open to that too. So pick something that you're comfortable with, practice it up, and then send it to us and jump on. We just love to hang out and jam with everybody. So yeah, man, let's do it.
It's not like you're coming on here playing with Andy Wood or something.
Right. I mean, did you see Jimmy last show? Just messing with you, Jimmy. Love you.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think R2 hadn't shown up for a while? No,
He'll be first guy on that show though when it airs on Friday.
Boner Jams is in.
Right on. But no, I mean we all have our clams, and I've messed up a few times, and we just smile, laugh, and keep playing. That's it's just all about the smiles, man. So
coming up too.
Speaking of the Boner Jams, we have channel member Boner Jams is here. It says Kurt always comes in the back door. I prefer to come in the 69. What's going on, boys? Good to see you, Boner. Welcome in, man. Always good to see you. Who else do we got? There's Bo, channel member Guitar Man 45, hanging out with us. Good to see you, Bo. Gonna say hey to Mitch again, and we're gonna keep on scrolling. I think we said hey to KXM Rock. I'm gonna say that again. Yes, what?
I was answering his question.
Right. Let's see. Who else is here? I'll face you face to face, Jimmy. Whatever that means. Be careful. He might have a McDonald's tray on him.
My money's on Jimmy, bro. I love you, Kurt, but my money's on Jimmy.
I think mine would be too.
Jimmy against all of us, no problem. One shot.
Boner Jams is going to send us a track. Right on, man.
Awesome,
the email address should be in the description, but it is OU812, just like on the album, YT@gmail.com. I'm sure that Trev is typing it into the chat as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Copy and paste. Oh, there is no description for this video. What? Oh, sorry. That's the other channel.
Oh, you're in the other channel. Yep.
I got both.
Wayne McConnell is here saying hey to a couple folks in the chat. Good to see you, Wayne. Always good to have you hanging out with us. Kurt says, Boner, are you featuring your 7-string tonight on OU812? Won't be tonight. But we'd love to have him on a Sunday jamming on that thing, man. All right, let's see. Hey, look at here. Look at here. We got channel member Greasy Monkey Guitars.
We've done more greasy.
Welcome in, sir. Good to see you. Let's see. Symmetry hanging out and with the channel email address. So send me a link to preferably like a Google Drive, or if it's on YouTube, send me that link for that and I can download it. But yeah, so let me know. We'll put it up and we'll rock it out for you. Let's see. We said hey to everybody here, scrolling on down, and I think we are caught up with the chat and we are about ready to go. So let's get going. Let's see. Bo says, who has a show Thursday? Well, usually we do. Transtrim Thursday at 8:05 p.m. Eastern.
It's so, Bo's birthday, I think what he's...
Oh, is that what he's getting at? Okay.
You want to jump on, Bo?
Yeah, we could have a birthday Bo show.
Think to that.
Just pull out your Steinberger with the Transtrim, Bo, and yeah, jump right on it.
Surprise!
Right on. So let's get to the topic at hand. We have Jimmy Biter with a very, would you call it an antique guitar now, or vintage, I guess you could say?
Yeah. Was it 25 years to be considered vintage?
I think so. Something like that. Hey, looky here. Hang on. We got R2, R3 throwing out a little support for his own channel. He says, $9.99 super chat to say, I know you guys dislike R2, but I love you mofos. Keep playing. He'll come looking for you. R2 knows that we love him, and he's sitting at the house or on his phone, and he's just laughing at us, I'm sure. So love you, R2. We got Daniel Berry Sports Highlights has jumped in. Good to see you hanging out.
Daniel
and there we go. All right. So sorry to have interrupted you, Jimmy. So
well, I didn't even start.
So we've got a vintage 1987 Ibanez RG750. You want to talk about some specs on it, or where you found it, when you got it?
Let's go back in time.
Yeah, we need some sound effects. Like the
little ode to Wayne's World.
Yeah,
Exactly.
all I've got is stuff like this. I mean,
so what other guitar came out in 1987 from Ibanez?
The Gem.
That's right. So the RGs are based off the Gem. So,
and for those that don't know, the Gem is the one that had the monkey grip handle, made famous by Steve Vai.
Lion's Claw route, and the colors. So
with all the colors.
Yep, on one guitar.
Right.
So the RG is just an offshoot of the Gem. It's just basically a little bit stripped down versions of the Gem. No, obviously no monkey grip or lion's claw. So you had the 500 series and the 700 series that debuted at the same time. And so your 500, which the most popular model now is the 550, which just dot inlays, just pretty much a basic version, pickguard, HSS or HSH, pickup, edge bridge, tilt, block heel. So the differences between the 500 series and the 700 is the 700s basically it was just aesthetics to where it was just shark tooth inlays, which of course everybody knows now that's my favorite. And so this one I have modified it, but I have done nothing to the guitar that can't be put back to stock. So here is, let me change up the camera here. Alrighty. So here's
the ball cam.
Here's the stock pickguard.
Sakurama.
So
originally
1987, the
hum
pickup
single
set.
hum.
Yep. So this was also the debut of the F series pickups. Kind of the precursors were the IBZ. Basically the DiMarzio IBZ pickups. But there was only basically neck and bridge pickups and a single. With the advent of the F series, is you had the F1, F2, F3, and the F4. So first year for the 87, 750 was an F2 in the bridge and the neck, and the center pickup is a C2, which was also debuted. The C2 is a stacked single coil, so it's noiseless. What do they call it? A vertical humbucker. So it has the slugs in the top, and then underneath is a dummy coil.
Stacked.
The C2s will run, if you put a multimeter on them, as they will register. I've seen them anywhere between 12 to 16. 16, I don't know what the deal is. It must have been like something wrong with the pickup, because generally they're about 12 to 13 in resistance. But they don't sound like it because you're reading both coils. So in reality is you're getting, just the one coil, which is, that has the magnets in it, which reads, anywhere from, 6 to 7K. They don't sound too bad. I've got a couple sets of them that I just hold on to.
And those are all completely functional on that pick guard?
Yep.
Okay.
I just unsoldered the output jack off of it and just lifted it out. So in 88 they quit using the F2 in the neck.
Hold the phone. No. We've got Dwight, the Hitman Bailey, in the house. Good to see you, sir.
What's up, Dwight?
I see you,
He's
Dwight.
saying hey to Jimmy there. Right on. Welcome in, Dwight.
Right. Yeah. So the F2. So if you Google it, you'll find a list of either Ibanez, from an Ibanez catalog page with the F and the C pickups, and they're made by DiMarzio for Ibanez. So the F2, according to DiMarzio, the closest pickup to it is the Tone Zone, but with more output. I find that the F2 is a little less muddy. So this is an El Nico 5 pickup. So it's a little bit more powerful, but just a little bit more clear. Doesn't have quite the bass response as the Tone Zone. But it makes an awful neck pickup. So generally when you have two pickups of the same output, is generally it's tough to get them dialed in. Is usually you have to push that pickup down to the point where you're at the outer edges of that magnetic flux of the pickup.
Yeah, and it starts
to sound thin, and it just doesn't sound very pleasant.
Right. So what was the main reason that you wanted to switch that off of there?
Well, mostly these are the original. The F series pickups originally came out with gray bobbins. So I just wanted to keep this pick guard as a, altogether as a whole, just, because generally as I buy a guitar, I rip it apart and I just do whatever to it. Mm-hmm. And there's some guitars that I don't do it because I don't think that they're really worth messing with. Right. And since this is a really clean example of a 1987 RG750, is I just chose to leave it unmolested.
Right.
But, just doing things that I can put back to stock.
Easy peasy.
If I ever decide for some crazy reason that I'm going to sell stuff, is that I can just drop this back in, or I can just sell this in, as a fully loaded pick guard, original pick guard. Because, somebody's always looking for stuff like that.
Yep.
So what I replaced it with is, this is a anodized aluminum pick from Pearl Guitars, P-E-R-L-E Guitars.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you can order custom pick guards for the RGs in whatever pickup configuration that you want. You can get 3 single coils, you can get HSS, of course HSH or HS, or just single. Whatever, it's up to you. You can tell them, I don't want the any of the holes drilled or anything for the volume knobs or anything, so that you can do your own drilling and place
move that shit out of the way.
Yep. So the difference, here's another difference between an 87 and then 88 is the volume knob is right up close to that pickup. So in 88 is they dropped it down to over here, which is what you see there. Is it's
Still in the way.
down and back. Yeah.
Right.
So I replaced. So I'd been sitting on some more F series pickups for probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years now. So I had a spare F2 that I used for the bridge, and an F4, which is basically the equivalent would be a PAF Pro or a PAF Pro with just a little bit more output. So a PAF Pro, I think, is 300 millivolts, and this runs about 310.
Okay.
But basically with the same EQ graph to it. So all the parts, with the exception of the switch, I just replaced it with the 3-way, and the pick guard are not Ibanez parts on this. So the pots are Ibanez, the pickups are Ibanez. Of course, I reuse the same screws. So basically, the 3 sounds that I just wanted out of this guitar is humbucker here. Center is the upper coil on the neck pickup, and then full humbucker on the neck.
So basically, you have positions for C, O, and C. Edge bridge. So I did have to shim the neck up just with a fizz. Like I said, for as I like using the washers from your potentiometers off your guitars, because I get lots of ones that just go to crap. But I save all the nuts and the washers for other things. So the washers are about not quite. It's like 0.8 millimeters thick, which is just a couple thousandths, which is basically all you need to if you just need a little bit of angle, a little more angle on there. Is it doesn't take much. What is up, Ben Coons? Welcome in, man. Good to see you.
Brother Ben.
So the problem I had when I originally had it, because this thing, well, it was also originally white, but it faded into this awesome cream color. And
I was going to ask, if that was the original color, if it faded.
And that's kind of why I bought it, because I was like, well, I mean, you don't see a lot of them that have faded like this, and that are in this condition. So the reason for the neck angle increase is because when I got it is on the first run of RGs is they used the same neck heel as a 22 fret Wizard neck but they just extended the fingerboard past the end of the neck heel.
Right.
Down there. So it would sit, so it basically just sit on top of the body.
Yep.
But the cool thing is I could take a square heel 22 fret neck and it would bolt right on here, and then I would have a 22 fret RG. with just fit right in the pocket. I'd just have that little, 1.25 inch space there. Right. From the extra frets from the RG neck.
Wouldn't that be room for a sustainer?
With Jimmy, you never know.
Well, not on this guitar.
So what are some of the other specs on that as far as like the nut width and
so it's
tuners and
1.11/16 nut, Godo tuners. It's basically your basic RG, just a few little. Basically the main difference is the inlays on the fingerboard.
Now, did you do some work to the back of that neck? It looked like it may have been kind of rough.
It's just
sanded down.
just a little bit of play wear.
Okay.
On the edge, on there. This thing sat, according to Mr. Matsuda, who I got it from in Japan, it sat in the window of of a guitar store for a bunch of years, and that's why it faded into the color that it did. And then it got thrown in a case and then basically put in a closet for like 15 years. It sat in there. So it didn't have really bad corrosion on it, but it had enough, that, I had to take everything apart and do some scrubbing on little bits.
So you had to bring the corrosion into conformity.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
That's the second one tonight. I'm just on a roll.
You're all right.
So I ended up having to do just a small amount of work on a couple of the frets down here, to where I had two of them that kind of poked up a little bit.
What's up, Alexis P? Good to see you.
Hey, Alexis. So I tapped those down, got them reseated, put a little bit of super glue in them to keep them down, and then just a little bit of spot treatment to make this thing play. So the action, I got it down to it's 0.75 on the first string at the 12th fret, with basically zero relief in the neck, and about 1.15 on the sixth string at the 12th fret.
Is that your go-to?
Well, basically my go-to is get it as low as possible.
Right.
Fair enough.
And then, and then if it gets too low, it can get too low, because, it gets too low, then you really can't get your finger underneath the string to, do bending and all that. So,
right.
But it's playing good. I'm not having any issues with the, super low action on it, which is surprising, because generally, closet queens that just, stay unkept, in a closet and just sit there, generally develop a bunch of problems. And one of them is the neck goes to shit on you. And which I was thankful that I didn't have that problem, because you can't, you can pop the frets off and resand the top of the fingerboard back smooth, but that's hard to do when you got a bunch of great big inlays in the neck. So I was thankful that I didn't have to do that. It's a really nice dark piece of rosewood.
Oh, I thought it was ebony from
Nope, it's super dark rosewood.
Nice.
That's when we're getting the good stuff back then.
Yep. So did you get a case with it as well?
No, it came in some like semi-hard, soft bag. The dude was
sort of like John.
Yeah.
Speaking of semi-hard,
That's all it ever.
What's up,
gets
Jay?
these days.
What is up, Jay? Good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. Right on. Yeah, Blue says it does look like ebony. Right. Nice.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was a good purchase. I paid way less than other ones that I was looking at, and it's got some cool patina on it. With the fade. When I pulled the pick guard off, it was, the guitar was originally supposed to be, that kind of like not quite Arctic white or pearl white, but just, kind of a brilliant white. And even it started fading out underneath the pick guard as well.
Oh, wow.
So it was yellowed under the pick guard. So I was like, well, it definitely saw some UV rays for a minute.
So I have never, I've seen where, Reverb and other places you can get stuff from Japan, and I've been kind of leery of it. What was the process of getting it over from Japan? It's just,
So say like with this SI 850 that I got, is I didn't ended up paying any kind of import duties for some reason on that one. So I ended up paying $59 in import duties for this one, which isn't bad.
No.
And that was, I didn't have to pay it, when I got the guitar or anything. It's just FedEx sent me a letter, says, here's the rundown, here's the, the duty that's owed on it, and they just sent a little bill, and you tear it off and write a check and throw it in the mail, and that's it.
So Jay is asking again, what models is that? Not like it's right in the title or anything.
RG750.
So what would you say was probably the most popular model aside from the gym at that time?
It would be the 550.
Probably just because of budget concerns,
Yep.
you think? Or
Yep. I mean, basically, it was basically the same guitar. I mean, made of all the same parts, just, no monkey grip and no lion's claw route in the back. Other than that, it was literally the same guitar. There was nothing funny.
None of the lame
no
stuff.
kind of woods. I mean, it was just a basswood body, maple wizard neck with a rosewood, fingerboard. I mean, all the same parts. Goto tuners, the same nut, the same width, everything. It was just missing, all the bright colors and
right.
All the
But
aesthetics.
I mean, from like the 550 to the 750, the only difference is the inlays.
Basically.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess they sold way more 550s than based on that, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So what was probably the most sought after, or I guess valuable Ibanez from back then, would you say?
Floral gem.
Other than the gems.
Where's the universe come into play?
Well, that's a
that
7-string, right?
Yeah, that wasn't until a couple years later.
Yeah. But those are sought after for sure.
Yes. Yep. Those and the floral, original run of floral gems. I don't know, because right at 87, Ibanez had basically transitioned from the late 70s, from, everybody calls it the lawsuit era, but it's not. There was no lawsuit. All it was, it never went to litigation or anything. All it was a cease and desist from Gibson, because them and numerous other companies, because they were basically just making exact replicas of of Gibson Les Pauls. So
My dad
Gibson
had
sent
one of
out,
those of the 335 replicas, and it was killer, man.
Yeah, they were great guitars.
One of those
Yeah.
destroyers.
The late 70s, they were making the Destroyer. They were making a Carina Flying V copy. The Les Pauls, the 335s. They were making Strats in the same factory for Tokai and Greco that were killing everything Fender was putting out.
E. coli says, Steve Vai let me touch Evo for good luck. I don't care what he calls it. You shouldn't be touching that.
Did you wash your hands first? Jesus.
But not since.
You're right. Yeah.
Yep. So in about 79, as you start seeing the transition from what they were making into, their Ibanez's own designs. You see the where the Roadster name comes in for like their Strat models. And then that kind of progressed into the Roadstar series and up into the early 80s. And then from the early 80s is they had a line called the Pro line, which is when the Edge bridge comes into play. And that was, the Edge is kind of it's a little bit bulkier bridge. It's not, it doesn't have the thin base plate like a Floyd Rose. And they were setting those, basically decking those on guitars. And I had my hands on a couple of them, and it's like, it's just too bulky to be a decked on the top of a body guitar, because that raises everything up. As your neck heel gets deeper, your pickups are protruding more out of the body. And this thing is, it's pretty chunky to be hanging out on the top of the body. And the Edge replaced the Pro
That's
Rocker.
what she said.
Yeah. The Pro Rocker was kind of a similar design, except it was the way it attached to the body was similar to like how G and L did it, to where you basically had to drop the bridge onto, and then the inserts went through the holes, and then you couldn't. I mean, the thing was just something happened, is you had to totally disassemble it, out of there, and trying to find parts for them is next to impossible now.
Yep.
So if you're looking at one that's got the Pro Rocker on it, just be warned, is that it'll work, but if something breaks, is you're probably not going to find parts for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that you can beat a Floyd Rose for the design, but
Yeah.
what we have to remember is back then in '87, Kramer had the license to use Floyd Rose, right? So these other manufacturers had to come up with something that they could use that was similar to compete, and that's what you got.
And there was gray area in that as well, with if the guitar was made in a different country, which is why ESP would put Floyds on all day long from the Japanese factory.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to say order a Charvel, either the dealer that you ordered it through or you yourself had to purchase
put
a
it
Floyd.
on. Yeah.
And you could send it to them and they would install it
Yeah.
on your build. But
It's my understanding that a lot of Kramer guitars were advertised with Floyd Rose, and when you bought it, it wasn't on there. They gave it to you separate, and you had to put it on. That was when they were first coming out.
Right.
Couldn't keep up or didn't have the supply for them.
Yeah. When the fine tuner deal come out in 82, 83, it was like, oh my God, we got this huge demand for these because Ed showed up with a gold one on the Frankie. Who's going to make all these? So, but it produced a lot of decent manufacturer trims, the Fernandez head crasher, and then the Edge. So,
yeah, let's see. Everybody's catching Jay up on everything that he missed that he's commenting on.
We'll pick up conversation. I mean, the pick guard's
pickup,
there.
The pickups and the reissues are the V7 in the neck and the V8 in the bridge, and then I think it's Infinity for the middle for those particular ones. We might be seeing a HS version of one of those, maybe.
So what do you have that guitar tuned to right now, Jimmy?
So this right now it's in E standard.
Okay.
So basically where, a new guitar comes in, that's, we just tune it to E standard.
Kind of go from there.
I always give stock pickups a chance, but since I already, knew what I was dealing with the pickups that came in the original guard, with the exception that, I've never used an F2 in the neck, and it pretty much did what I expected it to be. Is it's just too hot for a neck pickup.
Yeah,
no such thing.
It's interesting.
What happens is you flip to the neck, and it barely sounds any different than the bridge pickup.
No bass here.
Yeah.
You have a little bit more bass, but it's just like, it sounds like the bridge, but with more bass on it, and it just didn't. It just wasn't working. That's why they went to the F4 in '88.
I may be incorrect, but the Wolfgang signature guitar, isn't the neck pickup hotter than the bridge?
All of the Wolfgangs, the neck pickup's supposed to be hotter.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
The PV neck pickups were hotter. The Music Mans read hotter.
Those pickups were designed for a neck position.
Right. Instead of just being a hot bridge that you throw in a neck.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, cool. Let's see what else is going on here.
So there's, so we go from the Pro line, which was mid 80s. So you start seeing the actual, similar shapes, the RG shape. You're getting into, like the S all those designs start coming into play. They haven't been totally refined yet, but we're getting to the point to where we're seeing, okay, here's what we're gonna go into, which from 87 to 92 is what I call is the golden age of Ibanez for shredder guitars and all that, because now you have now they have a bomber bridge, and they got the wizard neck, and they got their own pickups, and you got you've got specific body shapes that are that are designed by Ibanez and no copies. And so you have the gem. At the same time in 87 you had the S series, which was called the Saber in the Pro line versions in the mid 80s. So you had, with the S, is the first signature guitar was the Frank Gambale, the FGM S540, which came with kind of some different colors, and it came with shark tooth inlays, but the inlays were the same color as the body, and the headstock was also the same color. The difference is they didn't have jumbo frets. Is they had Dunlop 6230 frets, which would be kind of like a vintage fret. But the 6230 is a particularly hard fret material. So that's what is on this guitar. This neck is from Frank Gambale model from 87. But the first run was just had normal, basically the plastic inlays with it, and just a bare headstock on there. But I didn't know how I was going to like, because I knew, I just wanted the neck, even if I had to refret it, if I didn't like the frets. So I just put it on the guitar, let's just see what happens and see how it feels. And it turns out is I really like them for some odd reason. They don't feel like vintage frets on here.
Right. Bo is saying, what bridge is that? The Edge 02, or what is that one there?
No, this is the original Edge.
Okay.
The best
at that
one.
time, that's all you had was just the original Edge bridge.
Gotcha.
Not until 91
What's up, way up,
did you
dude?
see the Low
And
Pro.
no.
And then a couple years later, you had the Edge Pro.
Arky is here. Good to see you, Arkansas.
What's up, Arky?
Welcome in. Throwing some kisses Jimmy's way.
What up, girl?
We got the whole Under
Hope
the
you're
Bus
feeling better.
Network is here. Right on.
What's up?
Welcome in. Under the Bus Network, by the way, if you don't know, is on tomorrow night, Wednesday, at, I don't know what time, 9 Eastern, I think, something like that. So make sure you go check out Jay talking about Dream Theater tomorrow.
And football.
And football. And hockey.
Hockey.
And the fleas that are in his hockey bag and all that. So we have heard this guitar on some of our jam nights. So how long have you had this one?
Probably about a month now.
Okay. And has it remained in the E standard tuning, or have you moved it around? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of, I'm just going to hang with it how it is for a while. I'm kind of like Randy. I like, the neck position to be, kind of nice and smooth and, real sustainy.
That's why we're pals.
And that's hard to do with a 24 fret neck, because you're literally pushing that pickup down 3/4 to an inch down closer to the other pickup, and that makes a huge difference. So it's hard. Huge. It makes it hard to get that sound with that. So we'll be so as a result, the F4 in here, it's a bit on the bright side. But it's not horrible, because I'm even though I like the nice, smooth, sustaining sound, I also like the, the twangy neck sound of, say like a, single coil, in the neck position. I'm a fan of that sound too. I use it a lot.
Yep.
But with a shredder guitar, it's like, well, it kind of needs that. I kind of want to go to that, singing, smooth, sustain type sound.
You need to try that single coil that Willie makes me. I've got it in a couple guitars. It's like almost P90-ish, dude. It's fucking killer in the neck position.
Well, I may have a guitar that we can do that with.
So all the Ibanez guitars that I have ever tried in the past, I've never gelled with an Ibanez. And the reason is because of the neck shape. Yep. Kind of flat and wide is what I've always felt. And it was just always just unusual to try to get my hand around it. Is that what that one is? Is kind of a flat and wide?
Yep, this is the OG Wizard neck. On there, was it 17 at the nut, 19 at the 12th? Christ. So it's nice and thin.
Wow.
It's been it's my favorite neck of all time, and not because I'm stroking Ibanez's ego. It's because the neck fits my hand. I mean, that's where we all go. That's why Randy likes Charvels. That's why John likes his Sirs. That's why, Ryan likes his Wolfgangs. And it's because we're playing what fits us, what's comfortable. And when you're comfortable with the guitar you're playing, then your playing gets better on top of it. Because if you're having to fight a guitar all the time, then you don't get anywhere and you end up messing up and your hand hurts and then you're pissed off and then... John goes stomping off and fuck these guys.
I need to take
I don't
some...
know what's that dude's name? Jack, is it Jack White of White Stripes? Is that, what's his name?
Yeah. FTG?
The dude that was on It Might Get Loud that should not have been on there.
Yeah, that's Jack. Jimmy Page?
No.
Oh, the Edge.
Is that Jack White?
Yeah, Jack White.
He would disagree with you. He says that he wants a guitar that he has to fight and that it's hard to play and this and that.
Yeah. Well, he's lying.
Yeah.
There's a if he were to ever tell me that, there's a sound clip on Jimmy's soundboard that he can't play on the show that I would just reply back to him.
Sova knows it. What is up? Christopher Live Sova is here. He's got it. FTG.
Jack White also likes to play plastic pawn shop pieces of shit too. So
that's what I'm talking about. Well, he says he likes a guitar he has to fight.
I made a lot of money from those vintage
Jack White
60s guitars. Before my house fires, that was when the whole .com thing was going strong, and this you had the Black Keys and Jack White and all these guys coming out playing all these old vintage guitars, and it was like, oh, we gotta have one. And what they didn't realize was that it takes an incredible amount of work to get those things to play right. It's like, I want to see Jack White fight quarter-inch action on the guitar. He's not going to fight. He's not going to fight that, so he's full of shit.
We got JC Guitarists is here with us tonight.
What's up?
Welcome in. Good to see you hanging out. New face, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Have we seen?
Yeah.
Welcome in.
Welcome in, dude.
Hope to see you many more times.
About this?
J. Paul, you definitely wouldn't like a George Lynch neck. They're not thin, and they're super wide.
Yeah, I tried. I couldn't hack it.
But you know what, dude? As much as I like the Charvel necks, I think that neck's actually really comfortable as well.
Pete Estevez says that Jack White played a 3-pickup Wolfgang for a while. This is where that comment came from. I read something where he was talking about how he needed a guitar that was easy to play. He wanted to change up what he was doing, and he wanted a guitar that was just effortless to play.
Yeah,
and
he was tired of the skin flute.
He said the Wolfgang was that for him. He says it's almost like it played itself. So that's where I had seen that comment when he was talking about his Wolfgang.
Some guys like that, though. I mean, that's, Neil Young's in the world and stuff. They just like something they beat on, and it sounds like they're beating on it, and it's fighting them. And don't know. It's not
Well,
my
I mean,
thing.
when you got an action that you can throw a cat through, I mean, you can really.
Well, I can understand that, okay, if he's experimenting and he's getting different tones with a slide or whatever he's doing with the thing and beating on it a certain way. Yeah, okay, that's cool to get some new sounds. But, yeah, to make your fingers bleed when you're trying to play a guitar, no, thank you.
I mean, all these old, Japanese, I mean, take your pick. I mean, Asia was just pumping out garbage left and right. But once you got these guitars to actually play good, they were definitely unique sounding, And so it was pretty cool to, take, these guitars with, these just pickups
What's up,
just
George?
made
Cheers,
from
man.
Tinker Toys stuff. I mean, and then run them through a high gain amp, and it's definitely a very unique sound. So, I mean, I get it, but it was just getting, whatever. Take a fiberglass, National Airline with, basically two shells of fiberglass that's held together with a, with a piece of vinyl strip
A little pinstripe.
across, and it's like, and thing's folded in half, and you got to make it straight again and figure out how to keep everything right there. And it's like, it's not easy. I mean, you might pay nothing for the guitar, but you're gonna pay a shit ton of money to get it to a playable condition.
Yeah,
Peace of mind.
yeah. Yeah, everybody's talking about how White now's got 2 signature Fender guitars and an amp.
Yeah, and that amp sounded like he was playing an electric banjo through the transistor radio that was built on Gilligan's Island.
Signature
Jesus
Tilly.
fucking Christ.
Somebody said he's playing nice reverends. So, yeah, he's a sellout now, right?
It's not
He's
hard,
he's become a brand whore.
Yeah, right. To each his own. But going back to the neck shapes, you were talking about how I like the Wolfgang and whatever. I just like a neck that's comfortable. I can get accustomed to many different style of necks, and all of my guitars, they feel a little bit different, but they have a certain similarity in their shape. And, you love the Ibanez, the flatness. I just never could get along with a flat style neck, but I know a lot of people love them, so whatever fits. And I guess too, like you said, it's a shredder guitar. So I guess the position of your hand might be different, when you're flinging your fingers around, which I can't do.
So a lot of thumb over players who play wizard necks.
Right.
I'm a thumb over player, played wide Charvel necks, so
Yeah, but they've got some balls on the back end of those things.
Yeah.
not much. They're thicker than a damn wizard neck, that's for sure. But they're not considered chunky by any means.
But you
Cool.
I just can't do the chunky necks.
In all the
that's
wrong
the
places.
Exact opposite of a lot of people is that the thick chunky necks just it kills my hand.
Now there's some guitars that have a little chunkier neck that I'll give them a pass because they sound so good. A thick, chunky neck, made it up to the right body, just resonates and sounds just fantastic. I played particularly an SG that I played once. It had a freaking baseball bat neck on it, but man, that thing was just like, shook the earth when you strummed that thing. It was so resonant. And I think those fat necks is why a lot of people like that. I think Slash likes a really thick neck.
Yeah, Slash likes the baseball bat really thick. Because, these, get on Les Pauls for a second, these new standard series they've been putting out the last few years, the 50s standard neck profile is not true to the real 50s necks. They're not as thick. They're really not a whole lot thicker than the 60s, which is what I like. I like the 60s neck profile. But the 50s really aren't that much thicker. They're a little more rounder on the backside, but they're not.
Is that what they call a boat neck, Randy?
No.
That's what Under the Bus Network calls the Louisville Slugger. Oh, and then he says, FQFJ.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
There he is. The man.
Hey, 40 Grit is here. Channel member, welcome in, man. It says the Warmouth Boat Neck is a baseball bat. Very
Yes.
comfortable.
You know,
man.
I think I've said it on here before. I have a buddy of mine that has one of Phil Collins from Def Leppard's actual touring Jackson PC1s. And I think he used it from like 08 to 2011 or so, and my buddy got a hold of it, got a chance to buy it. And that neck is ridiculous, but it's super comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that thing's like an inch at the first fret, and like 1 1/4 or so at the 12th. I mean, it's fat.
Yeah.
It may even be bigger than that, but it's really comfortable.
Nice.
And now his newer ones, I mean, you might as well just go get a 2x4 pole and put frets in it.
Channel member Cowboy Fans 1965 is showing up. Says, good evening, guys. Good to see you, man.
up?
Thanks for hanging out a little bit with us. Let's see. 40 Grit says the PC neck is huge. My PC is slim.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go admitting that to many people.
yeah, the production model PC ones don't have Phil's actual neck profile. They're thicker than a Charvel for sure, but they're not giant like what Phil actually plays, because nobody would probably buy them.
That guitar that you played at Righteous when we went there, what
Yeah.
Was that neck thick and chunky?
That's the that was a newer PC one, but yeah, it's definitely thicker than anything Charvel or Jackson puts out. But I mean, if you've ever played a Strat with a modern C, they're a little chunky. It's kind of that shape, I guess, but it's a little bit thicker.
Right.
I mean, it's not 50s Les Paul thick,
Yeah.
but it's not Shredder Charvel thick either, so,
Yep.
or thin, so.
Cool. Well, we are past the 1 hour mark for tonight. Jimmy, you want to give us a couple of just tone examples, and then we'll head on out of here.
It's a nice clean sound.
Is that the DI channel?
Do a reproduction of that stuff we posted in the gym.
Oh no.
That was awesome.
Single coil neck. Full humbucker neck. So now we'll
So that's how you set up the three-way switch all the way up, a single coil. Middle.
so no, it's I call that down on the switches. Down is 1 for me. So bridge, humbucker, center is single coil neck, and then all the way up is humbucker bridge.
Okay, gotcha.
Or neck, humbucker neck. So
Okay, cool.
a lot of times Ibanez does, they're putting 5-way switches on these things, and they're doing, different, like position on a 5-way. Position 1 would be bridge on. Second one would be, say, like the north and south, or north coil on the neck or the bridge, and the south coil on the neck, and then the center would be,
The two
whatever derivative, and then fourth position would be neck pickup in parallel, and then fifth is humbucker in series.
So my RG750 is position 1 is the bridge humbucker. Position 2 is the north coil or the slug coil. Position 3 is I think it's the screw coil on the neck and the slug coil on the bridge. And then 4's the slug coil on the neck, and then 5's the neck.
So you've customized this three-way switch to what you want.
Yep. I mean, it's basically, a lot of the guitars are just, basically reduced to the sounds that I actually use out of them. If I want Strat sounds, I've got, guitars with 3 single coils
Right. Yeah.
that'll give me that sound. So it's like,
Did you?
I'm not in a position that I need a guitar that does everything because I've got guitars that fit those needs.
And that, boys and girls, is why you have 37,000 guitars.
Right.
You always need one more.
And I don't want to hear nobody bitching about me changing pickups on $4,000 guitars like y'all flame Rhett Scholes about a Les Paul. I don't care. It's mine, and I'm going to do what I want. What works for me.
Somebody busting balls or touching nerves there, Andy? Or what?
Well, I generally don't agree.
It's just that time for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I generally don't agree, or, I don't really watch Rhett Scholl that much, but he caught so much shit for changing the pickups in that, changing the pickups in the wiring in that 59, that R9 he bought with Tim Pierce.
Yeah.
And it's like, y'all are idiots. I mean, that guitar is from the 90s, so really those pickups in that wiring was not close.
Not y'all in this chat. The people in his channel commenting.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like obscenely hateful.
Yeah.
It's like
about
the gear page or something, they end up missing the plot altogether.
no greater hive.
Yeah.
Scum and villainy.
Oh, well, our new saying on the channel is, FTG.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, why would you buy a guitar and not do something with it?
Right.
It's like
Some of them are just perfect when you get them.
I mean,
they do exactly what you want.
That is true. But, these things should reflect you and what you want them to do. So if you want to change them, by all means, change it.
Yep.
If you're too hung up, I paid $10,000 for it, I can't touch it. And it's like, don't buy shit like that.
Right.
and our resident Jimmy Biter here is the ambassador for change it up.
Yeah.
I probably
Like, what'd you do today, Jimmy? Well, I got a hacksaw out and I cut the neck off of this thing and then shortened it up. And
I'm not that extreme, but I will say out of all the guitars in this room, there's a couple off camera you can't see. The only one that is stock is not mine.
So back to the sound samples here, Jimmy.
Now that position
brightened it up.
actually, yeah. So that's the middle position on the switch. So it's just a single coil neck, which I like that position.
Yeah, that
for,
sounded awesome, Jimmy.
For playing rhythms.
Yeah,
it's got that twangy, and that's just on. That's the BE channel that I'm doing that with on there. So, I mean, I'm generally not a fan of guitars with pick guards, but the one pro to a pick guard is that now you got companies that, no matter whether it's a Fender Stratocaster, an Ibanez RG, whoever is, you can get pick guards to customize, your pickup array
for
on there.
whatever you want.
Yep. And
now, does that have a swimming pool route in the middle, or is it?
Nope, it's a humbucker, single humbucker.
Okay.
route.
So if you wanted to do 3 humbuckers, you'd have to route the thing out. But you wouldn't have a problem doing that.
No. I
What
just
the hell would you do 3 humbuckers?
get the old
Why
hacksaw
not?
out and
Why not? That's true.
Want to get your Ace Frehley on? So
go after it with a hammer and a chisel.
there you
Gotta
go.
have somewhere to put the
Style.
smoke bomb.
There you go. All right. Well, Jimmy, thank you for sharing that with us tonight. And yeah, hope everybody enjoyed that. I know I learned a few things about some of the Ibanez stuff there. So
That was enjoyable.
right on, man. Right on. So
I mean, look for. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're looking at Ibanez, look at the the stuff from '87 to '92. It is some of the best built guitars of that era, without being, Prestige or J Custom. I mean, they had it dialed in, and in those 5-6 years is great stuff.
40 Grit's going to steal a little of your thunder. He says, I just picked up an 88 Gem Floral. The Gem plays great.
Very nice.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah.
We'll be watching for that. Make sure everybody checks out 40 Grit's channel as well. He goes on some Tuesdays, I believe, right? He may be coming on tonight. I don't know.
He's on right now.
Yeah, he's on right now. But check out 40 Grit's channel too. He's got some killer guitars. Does some
Thanks, 40.
walkarounds of some different guitars and some cool stuff.
Some repair tips. Dude's got a lot of knowledge.
Yep. Yeah. So
Cool.
check out his channel.
Great player too.
Right on. I'm sure Trev is typing in the 40 Grit link in the chat as we speak. It's just, So, well, that'll do it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And Jimmy, again, thank you for sharing all of that information on that Ibanez. Cool looking guitar. I love the faded look of that thing. It just looks, it looks clean and vintage and just looks killer, man. And very, very nice looking guitar.
Yep, it was a great score.
Right on. So we will see everybody coming up Thursday. We are back and we are in full charge again from our vacation layover. So we'll be back on Thursday with Trans Trim Thursday, and everybody knows what that's about. So we'll see you, and we'll be doing some jamming on Thursday night. None of this talking stuff like we do on Tuesday. So we'll be playing, jamming, doing some tunes, riffing on some Trans Trim stuff, and hope to see everybody over there. Be 8:05 p.m. Eastern on the Thursday night for Trans Trim Thursday. And then, of course, the Sunday Community Jam. And like I said, if you got a track that you're comfortable playing, send us the track. If you want to jump on and play with us, we'll play it. We'll let you go. We'll try to ad-lib to it, play with you. Or if you just want to record yourself playing and submitting that for Sunday, that is what the Community Jam is all about. Trying to get everybody to pick up their guitar and practice and play and have some laughs and some smiles. So get involved with us and send us some stuff. So
Don't be intimidated.
right. We got Casey Freeman has just jumped in. He says, good night from Jones County, Georgia. Right on. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for chatting and saying hello. Everybody here, if I missed you, sorry. I think I caught everybody, but appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out with us. So we'll see everybody for Thursday. And until then, all we can say is see ya.
Building backwards, living
Eddie Van Halen here, telling you, keep playing, man. Gotta keep playing. It's the only thing there is. Music, man. Keep playing. All right? I'm gonna come looking for you if you don't.